everybody, and welcome to another episode of Oasis Pride Month Edition.
Oras namin to.
This is our month.
It's our month.
Of course, since it's Pride Month, we invited people from the LGBTQIA+ community to join us in this very special episode. And I'm telling you guys, you are in for a treat. We have here Danny, and then we have Tay, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Let's start with Danny first.
Hi, I'm Danny Rogashan, CEO, founder of Overdrive Studios, and I am a transgender woman.
I am Eliza Taylor. Eliza sa umaga, Taylor sa gabi. At she, her, but gay, lesbian. That's me.
Well, since you already mentioned the Eliza sa umaga, Taylor
Taylor
sa
sa gabi.
gabi, have you always been comfortable whenever people ask you that? Para
in
ano
what
pangalan mo sa
sense?
gabi, ganon?
Sakto lang. I think I usually say it anyway as a joke, but at the same time, people na don't know me specifically, tawag nila sa akin Ali. Yun yung nickname ko. Yun yung straight nickname ko, guys. So pag hindi ako kilala, Ali tawag nila sa akin.
How about for you, Danny? Same question.
Yeah, I think I've chosen the name Danny for a lot of reasons because I was known in a previous time as like RD, and then now that I wanna, you know, I've been choosing to live this life, I've picked Danny from my actual name. So ayun.
It's a very pretty name.
It
I
is.
see. Ako actually, growing up, di ba parang, alam mo yung mga kamag-anak or like teacher,
Yeah.
nalaman na bading ka. Cause hello, obvious naman, di naman natatago na bading ako.
Really?
Yeah.
Ano ba? Akala ko pagdating ko
Di
dito
ba? Parang
straight ka.
straight.
Oo nga.
Diyos ko. No, tatanungin nila ako parang, ano pangalan mo sa gabi? Parang, same po.
So, sa'yo,
Yeah.
for your side, talagang tinatanong ka talaga.
Yeah, always.
So, kaya mo
My
siya
God.
natanong sa
yeah,
akin.
actually.
I see.
And it's interesting that you mentioned it right off the bat because I think I don't hear it from lesbians a lot.
Okay.
I think yung parang, ano pangalan mo sa gabi? It usually happens sa
Nag-iiba.
mga
Like a
badings
drag
or
Yeah,
sa
yeah,
mga
when you're
lalaki
doing
person.
that.
Because the gig is parang sa umaga, lalaki ka kasi, you know, you're in school or you're with your dad, ganyan. Pero the moment na gabi na, you're with your friends.
Lalabas ka na.
You're a
Iba
butterfly,
na.
so
I
hindi iba yung
see.
pangalan mo. But for me,
Today
it's
I
always,
learned.
I've never wanted to have a girl name. Ganon. Parang, kaya parang off ako. Whenever people ask me that, I guess siguro nung bata pa ako, like elementary.
Right.
Whenever they ask, ano pangalan mo sa gabi? Parang, same po.
Blair lang.
Yeah,
Like-
actually, well, Cedric, because that's my real name. Diba?
Okay.
Lalaki Cedric. Pero siguro same with Danny. I chose Blair kasi kahit ano mangyari, it's a name.
Yeah.
Parang you don't have to ask me if I'm a boy or a girl. It can be a unisex name kasi, diba? Blair?
Yes.
So sabi ko, perfect.
Same as Ali. Same as Taylor.
Same
Diba?
as
So,
Danny.
parang,
Actually, Danny din.
I guess
Like,
same
depends
tayo
on how you spell it.
same tayo lahat.
Yeah.
Lahat tayo
Same
ba
tayo
din?
lahat. It's true. It's true.
Although I would have to say, like, the best part about like being trans is actually choosing the name that you
Oh,
want to
really?
live. Like, I think that's one of the best things I've had to do initially. It's like, I have the freedom to choose a name, diba? So, parang, Danny sounds fine. So, ganun.
Question about trans, no? Kasi diba when you're trans, syempre you accept who you are already and then
Yeah.
you come out as another person? Is that the right term to
For me, I think it's more on, already know I'm this person. It's just letting other people know that, okay, you guys have to live with the fact that ito na ako, ganun. So, yeah, it's, how do I say? Kasi ang weird kasi ng especially with the situation I was in, na I have to come out publicly, I have to let people know that I'm going under a transition phase, ganun. So, I have to specifically let people know na, this is the life I've been trying to live now. And basta mahaba yung kwento nito. And I'll share a few things later as
Well,
well.
we do have a lot of time in our hands. So I guess let's start with our
Chismisan.
life growing up. Let's get to know each other better. So
Okay.
for those of you guys who are listening and watching this, we don't know each other prior to this. I mean, we don't know each other from names, pero our stories, backgrounds, we don't. And basically, let's get to know each other because that's something that's really fun to do. So let's start with Tay naman this time. How was it growing up as Eliza?
Eliza.
Za, as in Z.
Eliza. Pero,
Okay, Eliza.
Pero, yeah, Eliza. So, anyway, I do feel like na when I was growing up, yun yung mga panahon na parang sa lesbian world din kasi, or like for me, for example, I feel like na it takes a lot of time. Syempre, growing up in a school, a private school, for example, and then really seeing around you, and then at the same time, way back, I mean, hindi naman ako ganun katanda pa, but at the same time, hindi ganun kadaling lumabas or mag-out during that time before. But I do feel like nasa generation din ako kahit papano into like people transitioning into an accepting way na more compared sa dati talaga. So it wasn't really much of a problem for me. I think yun lang yung sinabi ni Danny kanina. It's the hardest part is letting other people know and letting them understand na hindi ako gumising isang araw tapos pinagdesisyonan ko bading ako, alam mo
Diba?
yun?
Yeah,
that's true.
Like, hindi siya isang snap ng hand na, ay, bading pala ako kinabukasan. It's been boiling down ever since, kumbaga. But nonetheless, when it comes to me growing up, I really am the person na wala masyadong pakialam as well. So, it does a lot, lalo na pag wala kang pakialam dahil syempre kahit anong sabihin nila, like, you don't really care. But when you're younger, obviously, it hurts you at some point. You still have those kinds of feelings na dati pag tomboy ka no, hindi
Magtatago ka.
Instant
Defensive.
denial.
Defensive.
Hindi ako tomboy, man. Ganun, di ba? Pero ngayon, I really have the capacity or even emotionally wise na pwede ba magmura?
Yeah,
I'm so fucking proud I'm gay. May ganun na ako ngayon. Way back, syempre medyo tagu pa, konti. But now, I feel
Wait,
much freer.
for reference, we're all 25 and above.
26 ako.
I'm 28.
So we're same age.
Okay.
Same tayo ng kinalakihang
Don't
panahon.
you feel like
Ng
that?
panahon.
It's easier now,
It's
though.
easier
Yeah,
now?
it's easier now, of course.
I think like 5 years that did a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not
And-
sure how that happened, but I like it.
And I think it helped a lot now. We're living in a world now where information is easily available. Kasi before, wala namang Google, di ba? So parang people won't even see a gay person in the television, and during the time, TV lang naman yung way of media
Yeah.
natin.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We don't have a lot of representation, so it's definitely harder before.
And
How about
usually
you?
negative pa siya, di ba?
Yeah, parang
Like
katatawanan
how they
lang.
portray gay people is like, tatawanan mo lang to. Or it has to be something na, alam mo yung stereotypical coming out story. Just negative pa.
Yeah.
So, ayun.
Ang hirap makahanap ng gay story. Even nowadays, we don't really get a lot of gay stories where it's just happy.
Yeah,
Na parang
it's like a
it's just
normal-
presented as a normal thing, right? We do have that from, I think I've seen a lot, like 2 movies probably na ganon. One of which is, yung kay Kit Connor, nakalimutan ko yung title. You guys familiar?
Hindi ko siya
No.
Kasi
napanood.
it's a gay love
pero
story na
alam
happy
ko.
lang. Ganon, na walang problema. You know
Okay.
how...
I mean, meron din yung kay Rian Ramos tsaka kay Glyza De Castro.
ano yun?
Oh my God.
Kita
I
mo,
love-
nasa ibang mundo kasi tayo, Blair.
I love that. No, no.
Babae,
Oh,
di ba?
gusto ko yan.
Ay, yun ba yung sa Cinemalaya?
Yung The Rich Man's Daughter ata
Yes,
yun or
yes.
something.
Oh, that's...
Yeah.
So,
Yung mga kumakalat na GIF kasi nila. So, yun yung mga
Mainstream
nakikita ko
TV.
pa.
Yeah,
Yes!
GMA.
oh, I see.
Yeah, so I feel like dati parang hahanapin mo pa kung sino ka talaga. Pero
Yeah.
ngayon, like one search in the internet and like people can actually show how they feel. Punta kang Reddit, papakita nila sa'yo or explain nila exactly how you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
So it does a lot.
How about growing up as Danny? Or what's your
Yeah, sige. I grew up in an all-male household. So we're 4 siblings. Formerly 4 boys. So nag-adjust na ako. And my name is my actual my birth name is Red.
wait,
So it's a color.
let's discuss the terms.
Right.
Because ako parang whenever I'm talking to, let's say, someone trans,
Sure.
I'm quite confused how, for example, how do I ask you what was your previous name?
Right. Birth name? I would
Birth
say.
name.
Yeah, legal
Birth name.
name.
Okay.
Ganun na lang. And right now, Danny's my live name kasi it's also part of my actual name. So, ayun. Going back, yeah. So when I was assigned male at birth, I was in an all-male household. So 4 kami doon na magkakapatid. And you would expect from an all-male household, magulo. Right? So very rough, very rowdy crowd. So alam mo yun, I grew up with the stereotypical male behavior. Video games, wrestling, basketball, a lot of like rough housing. Alam mo yung normal sa amin yung talagang may chino-chokes lang ako na kapatid ko. Ganun. So it's a very, it's a very crazy time sa family ko. Pero I think deep down, it wasn't something na, alam mo, it just didn't sound fulfilling. Kasi when, eto na, yun na nga. So may mga times na nakukulong ako sa isang kwarto. And just so happens that my mom's clothes was there. So I had time to play around by myself. And wait a minute, bakit, siya, why does this feel good? And why does it make me happy? Ganun.
What exactly were you doing?
I was just playing around with the clothes, like, trying it out. Just, just making fun lang. Tapos yung pala natuwa talaga ako. Yun yung nakakaano doon.
Dati choke slam, ngayon choke na lang.
No. Yun lang. Yun nga, so
Gulat ako.
ang bilis eh.
Solo lang din kasi ako eh. Like, single child. Tapos yung mom ko pa, single mom as well. Didn't grow up with my dad. Baka daddy issues talaga doon, no? But, nonetheless, hindi rin ganun kahirap sa akin. Sa mom ko, hindi siya nagsasalita about it eh.
Pero
hindi na sinasabi.
you've always been the same naman,
I've
di ba?
always been the same. In-enroll niya ako sa ballet classes when I was like 6 years old. Katabi nung gym, nagbubuhat ako barbell. Alam mo yon, I wanted to go to taekwondo, I wanted to do this and that. Gusto ko yung mga kalaro ko, mga mas lalaki pa sa akin. Yun yung Counter-Strike days, doon nagsimula lahat. But doon parang same kay Danny na I feel like I'm much happier doing those,
The
yung
other
mga
thing,
rough,
right?
rowdy play compared dun sa dressing up naman,
Yeah, oh
for
my God.
example. So it's a complete different opposite. Ngayon nga lang ako talagang parang nagde-dress up na ibang-iba eh, iba-iba.
So parang before, it's not part of your interest at all. Parang kahit anong itsura ko, basta...
Oo, as in baggy shorts, everything, pambahay. I just don't like wearing dresses much before.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of, since we're already talking about
Yeah.
like dressing up and the way you dress growing up, was that ever parang a dilemma for you guys? Because like for me, I've always known I'm gay.
Yeah.
Never ko naman din tinago. Although syempre before, alam mo yung mga slight hints of trying to hide it just
Yeah.
because I don't want my family to know it. Even though I feel like I've always been accepted growing up, takot pa din eh. Diba? Parang ang hirap pa din na
Dress straight.
na bakla ka.
Yeah.
Diba? Or sometimes they would ask me, as in, I feel like my parents tried to reach out to me multiple times when I was younger na parang, bakla ka ba? Parang ganon. Pero the way that they're asking it, I feel like they're asking it from a place of love. Pero the way that it comes to me,
Parang
it's-
aggressive.
Oo, so
Yeah.
parang nakakatakot.
Ano,
So I've-
bakla ka ba?
Diba?
Parang
I've
ganon.
never tried to come out. Pero in terms of dressing up, I don't want to be associated as feminine growing up in terms of dressing at all. How about you guys? Was that the same thing for you guys? Like you tried to hide it?
Obviously, I tried to hide it before, but for me, as someone who's trans, I think clothing, especially, is a big part of the identity and the presentation talaga. So, once I got in, I've come to realize, okay, maybe this is just me enjoying cross-dressing, for example. Na parang, this is just gonna be a thing. This is just gonna be a phase. And yun yung ginagamit natin, diba? Parang, phase lang to, like, I will grow out of this at some point. But as it turns out, I just kept on getting better at the dressing up part. Parang gumaling lang ako lalo. And then the more I see myself na, okay, shit, babae pala talaga tingnan. And ang ganda ko tingnan. So parang, maybe there's
Angel-
potential here.
True. Maxine Medina,
Maxine Medina.
hello?
There's probably potential here. So alam mo, it just kept on, progressively, getting better then. Pero yeah, I would say for me, especially, being feminine is important to who I am. And before, I wasn't able to show it kasi nga, again, I'm in a household of all males. Lahat ng kaibigan ko din dati, puro lalaki. And whenever I'm with a woman or with a girl, usually nalilink pa ako sa kanila. Kasi parang okay, parang jowa ba to? Or like, iniligawan ba, ganun. So, yun.
Question, since you mentioned yung parang nagandahan ka sa sarili mo, di ba?
Yeah.
Was there ever a time na parang, ay, straight pa din ako kasi nagagandahan ako sa sarili ko? Parang ganong atake.
Oh yeah, kasi like I'm attracted to femininity. Just to be clear, like
Same.
everything about, di ba? Like everything about it, doesn't matter what I'm presenting as, pero just the idea of like seeing a beautiful girl, like very attracts me talaga. And the fact that I can do that on my own, maybe that's pretty much it's pretty much something that I have to seek for at some point in my life.
May tanong ako, may pinagdaanan ba kayong phase na naging bi kayo, and then ito na, tas ito na, yung
Yeah,
next, ito
yeah.
na yung final form,
Yes.
Yung sa
ganyan.
akin, title lang.
Title lang. Sa title lang
yeah,
yung
kasi
babago.
parang, ewan ko, medyo matagal yung in denial stage ko eh.
May
Kahit
in
na
denial
alam ko,
stage talaga.
Bading ako, Team Tarub.
Totoo.
Team Tarub forever. Parang growing up, elementary, whenever people ask me, even my friends ask me, bading ka ba? I always say no. Tanda ko yun, like elementary, no. Tapos nung high school, so I came from a Christian school kasi.
Yeah.
Tapos high school nag-public ako. So sabi ko, okay, I'm going to reinvent myself. Parang this time, I'm not gonna pretend. If people ask me I'm gay, I'm gonna say yes. Pero I didn't say yes. I said bye.
That's also what I say.
Pero alam kong bading ako eh.
Oh.
Pero bye kasi parang mas safe.
It's a safe transition,
Yeah.
I would say. It's as much safer, I feel safer pagdating
Yeah.
sa transition na yon. Kasi at the same time, syempre, kailangan mong i-explore muna, di ba?
Yeah.
Like, do I really want this? So, I tried dating dating men, I tried dating
How was
women.
it though? Mamaya.
And it turns out I prefer dating women.
Okay.
Parang ganon. So naging transition ko din yun. That's really nice to hear.
Wait, you mentioned earlier na you're attracted to femininity.
Yeah.
So in terms of
In all forms,
like, a partner, what is Danny looking for?
Ayun.
Like, how do you identify
Hey.
yourself specifically?
Ito na ba yun?
Mabait,
Aga.
masipag,
Treats me well. Princess treats me well. Yeah. So I had a girlfriend lately lang. So we broke up, of course. But yeah, I'm still up. Yeah, but obviously if I were to date again, it's obviously gonna be a woman pa din. Kasi, like, I would want some na para I can be good friend with you. Parang best friend yung vibe na
Yeah.
maganda lang kayong dalawa, ganun.
What if a gay guy na sobrang feminine?
Ooh.
Are you open
I think
to
I'm not
that?
attracted to men in general. Kahit gaano sila ka-feminine.
And what's the, ano bang tawag doon? Anong term to identify you? You're a transsexual woman who's
Yeah.
also lesbian?
Yes, basically.
Oh. So how do you say it in one sentence?
I just say I'm a trans lesbian na lang. Para ano.
Oh!
Or I'm a lesbian. So, ganun siya. Medyo layered kasi kasi 'di ba? Like it's not something that's typically seen when it comes to like trans women or trans in general. They usually date the gender that they want. Like for example, ako dapat lalaki, 'di ba? So, I'm not like that.
So for Tay and me, I'm just gay. 100% team tarub. So for
Yeah.
you,
May mga araw na lesbian na, may mga araw na gay na lang, gano'n. Parang
Yeah.
it really depends. Parang kahit sa, kunwari, pananamit din, sometimes I also do like looking feminine. May mga, alam mo yun,
Yeah,
may mga
expression
days
na lang
na
yan eh.
nagkiklik na parang, gusto ko maganda ako
Minsan
today.
gusto ko lalaki ako
Minsan gusto ko today, parang, today, gusto ko chill lang ako. Gusto ko ako yung mukhang pinakalalaki sa inyo. Diba?
Oh, you win.
Ayun, yun today.
I see. Wait, so natapos na tayo sa parang growing up, like the struggles, etc. Are there like parang sobrang highlighted memory na you really feel like that was your lowest low growing up as a queer person?
I guess the fact that I have to hide it from my family before. Kasi I think they had the clue naman dati na parang, why was I acting a certain way? Or why was I hiding clothes? Bakit nawawala yung damit ng nanay ko, for example, na hindi naman siya yung nagtago, ganun. Or for me, it's more on parang bakit ang lambot ng demeanor ko or why am I too sweet to people, ganun. So the fact that I have to hide certain parts of myself, that was very discouraging growing up. And lalo na middle child pa ako. So iba rin yung neglect
Yeah.
nun. Grabe.
I felt. Are you guys familiar with Four Sisters in a Wedding?
Ayun.
You know Bobby there? Yung,
Oh yeah, same.
Di ba?
Ako si Bobby.
Kaya ako, iyak talaga si Bading. Kasi
Oo, ganun
sabi ko,
ako. Right?
pero parang layers of hardships kasi parang bukod sa you're the hindi masyadong napapansin na anak,
Yeah.
you're also hiding, somewhere inside you kasi nga
True.
you don't want to come
Yeah.
out. How about Tay's darkest of
I
dark?
think one of the things I regret was not actually having a good conversation with my mom before she passed away. Na hindi talaga namin pinag-usapan yung sexuality ko in general na kung tanggap ba or hindi. And I feel like nandun lang kami sa portion na kasi 16 years old lang ako noon eh. So parang nandun pa lang kami sa part na I'm just bringing girls as my best friend sa bahay, gano'n. Pero alam niya naman, alam mo yun, alam niya na pero hindi niya sinasabi kasi medyo shy yung mom ko. So nawala na lang siya. After niya talaga, yun talaga yung coming out story ko. After niya mag-pass away, parang I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, nothing's gonna hurt me any more than this. So, I would rather be myself from this point onwards. Like, kahit sa kamag-anak side ko, kahit sa kung ano-ano pa, like, I don't really care. Because if you are, like, parang against it, then let's not be friends.
True,
I don't
true.
need the energy. Yun.
So, your coming out story to your family basically is not, dialogue.
Bringing girls over.
Yeah, so
That's my coming out story.
Hindi siya pinag-usapan.
Hindi siya pinag-usapan. Alam na nila. Once na binigyan nila ang Barbie na hinuhubaran ko ng bata ko, they already know.
I see. How about for Danny? How's your coming out?
Wow, okay. So I had a girlfriend back in 2018 to 19. And like we were very okay naman. Pero sa kanya ako na nag-out.
2018.
2018 to 19.
During this time, you
Yeah.
transitioned na?
No, I was for the record, pogi ako dun. Like, as in, like,
Eh.
alam ni Taylor eh. Wow!
Oh,
So,
eh.
so kung Maxine Medina and Angel Locsin ngayon, who are we looking at before?
Siguro I can't give a vibe eh. Pero before, para siyang as a joke, sabi ni si Zanjo. Pero
Zanjo
pangit kasi
Marudo?
nun. Sorry!
Paano pag pinanood ni Sancho to?
Ayun lang. Pero yung parang yung pangit siya for me Pero syempre, pogi naman
In
siya in
fairness, hindi
general.
naman siya super pogi, pero ang lalaki kasi.
Yeah,
ang
lakas ng
sarap.
dating niya, ganon.
Di ba?
Sige,
No, no.
Luka Doncic
Ewan
na.
ko, I feel like for me kasi mas pogi kapag masarap. Ay,
Team
I don't know how
Tarub
to describe it.
talaga to
Like
eh.
the sex appeal.
Ako
Ayun,
kasi,
yun.
ako, yabmat with yomo.
Wow.
Tomboy with tomboy.
So yun. So yeah, I
Okay,
had a girl.
Zanjo, continue.
So I had a girlfriend back then, and so una ako nag-out sa kanya, and it was going well naman kasi she also identified as queer then, so she was very supportive. Pero yun nga, the days have passed then, and dumating na yung pandemic, of course, and with the idea of isolation in the pandemic, I was thinking of ano ba yung kind of life that I want to have after all of this. Kung buhay pa ako at that point. So, syempre, I want to decide for myself na maybe I should try to live for myself because I've been trying to live for other people as a neglected people pleaser na middle child. Ganun. So, parang, everything. So, yung pinaka-coming out story ko, medyo heavy to, syempre. Number one, nakipag-break muna ako sa girlfriend ko nun. Kasi she didn't sign up for that as much as she accepted it. So, mahirap din for her to deal with the entire process of transitioning, ganun. And then, so yun na, nag-break na kami. I also wrote a letter to my parents about it, detailing, so in bullet point form.
Are you not living with them?
No, I'm living with them. So in detail na bullet point form na ano ba yung expect nila na okay, ganito ako. So here's the situation. Nag-break kami ng girlfriend ko because ganun. Tapos ito yung expect niya sa akin. Tapos at some point, may sinulat ako dito, hindi na ako magkakaanak ka. So parang doon sila na parang pumitik sila lalo. Parang, okay, sige. Akala...
Wait, Danny, before you continue,
Go.
if you don't mind me asking, how did your girlfriend receive the breakup?
Right. I think she was in denial then. Pero I think at the end of the day, she had enough love for me to support the transition itself. But not enough to... I guess she didn't sign up for the relationship talaga. So I didn't want to pressure her to
It's a
handle
big
that.
change.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a big
true.
change eh. Kasi not only do I have to change physically, like yung dynamic na yung babago.
Oo.
Especially when we were very active pa before, ganun. So, ayun, for me naman, going back to the family situation. So, in-email ko siya basically.
Okay.
So, in-outline ko lahat ng bullet points doon. And then,
Fairness, email with the family.
in-email ko sa family ko. Kasi ayokong sabihin sa kanila directly. So, nung nabasa nila, sinamon ako sa kwarto nila to talk about it. Tapos, syempre, sobrang disappointed nila, initial reaction. Kasi, they didn't expect anything na ganun talaga. Like, akala nila, lang to, face lang to. They thought that this is something I would grow out of. And turns out, surprise.
It's not a
Mom,
face,
It's not a face.
That was
It's
mom
not-
and dad?
Yeah,
Or-
that was mom and dad. So, ayun, I didn't tell my brothers na kasi they had an idea already. Parang lang, they have to just witness the changes na lang throughout. Pero for me, it was a dark time in my life then. I think 2020, with the breakup, with the coming out then, sobrang din. With also like things happening sa work ko sa Overdrive. So it hasn't been the kindest year for me. So, yeah, I think I was also in a place na I think this is the end of things. So, but at least tinry ko talaga gawin yung yung gusto
What
kong
will
gawin.
make you happy?
Yeah.
Well, we discussed about the challenges earlier. How about the things that helped you or people who helped you? Siguro for Danny first, since we're already in the
Right.
topic of transitioning. Like what are the things that made it easy? What helped you?
I think work-wise, una sa lahat, boss ako. Kaya di nila ako pwedeng di
Boss and
supportahan.
CEO.
Totoo.
So pag
Totoo.
gano'n sila, matik, medyo magagalit. Bad trip ako sa kanila, di ba? Work-wise, I think my colleagues have been very supportive. In Overdrive and in other industries. I have a Taylor-related kwento about this then.
Terror.
Yeah, yes.
Ako yun.
Of course.
Gabi na eh.
May time kasi na kumalat yung, parang lang, like my photos were going up online. Like I was posting like updates of myself, ganun. And people have been noticing that I was looking very feminine na and shit
From
like that.
the gaming scene.
Yeah, from the gaming scene kasi I was very naman eh. I was very public about myself then. So they were talking about me in a group chat and then parang napagsabihan ni Taylor yung mga tao doon. Like she was trying to defend it. So by the way, thank you ah.
It's
Of
the
course,
gay.
the badings
It's
will
the
always
gays. True.
stick together.
So yun yung pinaka-fond memory ko about work and how everyone was very warm with the reception sa work. Like sa friends naman, it took them a while. But they've been noticing that I was very happy, I was very alam mo yung iba yung mood na, like I was very lighter. I was very light basically.
I
And
feel like parang pag hindi ka pa kasi nag-out, nagkakaroon din ako ng ganitong problema. Like, I don't usually have girlfriends. Like, yung babaeng mga kaibigan talaga dati. Kasi nga, I'm worried na magiging uncomfortable sila.
Yeah.
Ganun. May ganun ba?
oo, kasi akala nila parang like for example for the guys, because I do have a lot of guy friends right now, especially in the gaming space. So sinabi ko sa mga friends ko in a group chat, guys, by the way, na-transition ako. So sabi nila, okay, nice.
Did they not ask what?
They did not ask. Parang akala nila lang. Akala nila nag-joke ata ako. Pero seryoso naman ako. Pero yung reaction nila, okay, ganun lang. With that straight to the guy friends. I was more concerned with the best friends I have in real life, like the girlfriends that I have. Kasi sila eh, I'm gonna be needing them more than ever if I were to do this. So, yun yung pinaka-worry ko na parang, will they be treating me differently ba? Will things change? Ganun. And actually, it did for the better naman. So, ayun.
Speaking of transitioning, when do you say that you're transitioning na? Is it required to use pills kapag mag-transition na, or it's an inside thing?
There's
Like,
a
how does it work?
misconception about it because the moment you choose that you identify as something, that the process begins na. So, kasi you will act differently, you will present yourself differently naman. You don't need to take your medications to align with that. But a lot of people, including myself, need those things. So, para align yung katawan nila with how they identify as well.
I see.
Sobrang gastos, by the way. Yun ang sabihin ko.
For Tay, was there ever a moment na you questioned na maybe trans ako?
No, ever. Ako, kahit nga magpagupit ng maiksing buhok or even like in a butch type cut of way, hindi ko siya ever
Yeah.
pinlano, inisip. I do like my feminine side a lot and I do like femininity a lot as well.
Do you get annoyed when people specifically parang associate you as being a guy just because you're a lesbian?
Alam mo, yan lagi yung questions ng mga straight parate, di ba? Parang, so sino lalaki sa inyo? Walang lalaki sa amin, guys.
That's the
Sabi ko,
point,
it's like,
right?
Parang ang hirap maintindihan
that's the
for
point.
them
That's
na hindi
exactly-
porket ba din
Oh,
ako
yeah.
gusto ko maging girl.
Yeah, exactly. Ganon, di ba? So, walang ganon. And going back dun sa question mo rin, for me naman, I think what helped a lot, kasi na-mention ni Danny na siya yung boss, di ba? So,
boss and CEO.
wala silang masasabi, wala silang reacts. But for me also, kasi freelancer ako as a host, nandun din yung parang self ko na ako yung nagde-decide for myself. Hindi yung parang I'm not working for anyone, I'm not really bothered with like people around me. If you don't wanna work with me because I'm gay, then I don't need the energy.
True.
Ganon, di ba? So, it helped a lot na sa esports, freelance ako and I'm still my own boss. So, I
Yeah.
could really decide like how I portray myself. And being a host, parang mas gusto pa nila pag may mas personality ka. Gaya mo.
It's true. I've always seen being gay as a weapon though. As a strength rather than a
Yeah.
weakness.
You have vice ganda.
Yeah. When I started the entire, kung ano mang ginagawa ko ngayon. Parang, lagi ko siya nakikita, unique ako kasi I'm bading eh.
Yeah.
Ang daming streamer na straight guy. Karamihan boring. Same with girls, di ba? Look, ganyan. Gays will always have the personality.
Exactly.
Di ba? So, hire us guys. Pride Month, hindi
It's
pa
our
tapos.
selling point, di ba? Kung need yun ng graphics,
We're naturally
ito na
funny.
yun.
So, totoo yun.
And we get all sides of the world. Trust.
Yeah.
Trust. Okay, ano to? May tatanong ako kanina about yung mga things that help. So you mentioned earlier people, ganyan. How about, are there known institutions, wellness stuff?
For me, one thing that actually helped with the transition itself was, so I signed up for Love Yourself before, and so for those who are uninitiated, it's one of the institutions here that advocates safe sex, healthy transitioning also, and part of what I did was got a consultation. They also helped me get my lab test done, tsaka yung actual prescriptions ko on what I should take. So yeah, I've been transitioning in a healthy way.
How did that start? Because I feel like same as coming out, the hardest part is actually starting. So how did you reach out to them?
I think there was a fuck it moment din talaga. Kasi the moment that, again, I decided to come out, like break up with my ex, like tell my family, wala naman na akong gagawin ko, hindi gawin na lang yan. So there was no way for me to actually move forward if I don't see this through. So, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna take that first call, take that first spill, and see what happens. And so far naman, it's been a great journey so far. And part of it also was my journey to better health in general. So physical, mental, emotional health. Ganun. By the way, iyakin na ako, guys.
Okay lang yan.
Yun na lang yung ano ko, yung pinaka
Ako
side
din,
effect ng
iyakin-
gamot ko.
Iyakin din ako eh.
Now let's talk about pronouns. So enough with the personal. I mean, you can still put your personal touch into it. But I want to know about pronouns because I feel like for the longest time, especially in the internet world,
Yep.
parang people are very sometimes offensive, defensive, whatever about pronouns. There's been a lot of people na sabihin, oh, I'm an ally, like I have gay friends, laging ganon. I love the gays bot, parang ganon lagi, di ba? It's always something like that. What are your thoughts about people who say, I'm an ally bot? Like for example, I'm an ally bot, sumasobra na kayo, parang dapat hindi nyo hinihingi yung ganito, ganyan.
Alay bot?
Do you still consider them as an ally kapag ganon?
What do you mean an alay bot?
Alay
But.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, like for
Pero,
example,
ganun.
yeah, di ba? For example, Soji Bill. You know how we've been fighting for the Soji Bill for everyone to have equal
Maraming
rights,
bading
etc.
na naiinis doon,
Di ba?
Na parang ang dami naman nating hinihingi.
Oo.
Nakakainis yung
Di, ano bang eksena mo dyan?
Oo, bakit kailangan pa ipaglaban?
And there's a lot of straight people who say, I have a lot of gay friends, I'm an ally, I love you guys, but parang sobra naman.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
alay but may kasamang
Do you
ganun.
still consider them as an ally kapag ganon?
Do you?
I personally no, kasi I think they can be allies to their friends, pero kasi being an ally means you have to advocate for everyone, right?
Yeah, you have to make something
And-
happen, you know?
Yeah, the reason why we're doing these things, it's not enough for us to exist anymore. We have to take up space
Yeah.
na din. And I feel like that's the one thing that these so-called allies don't understand. Na we have to take up space kasi nga it's the only thing that keeps us alive. It keeps us thriving in environments din, diba?
And like, for example, hindi naman porket we have the same rights as you, lamang kami.
Yeah.
Diba? The point is for us to be of equal footing.
Yeah.
Gusto lang naman namin the same rights as what you
Yeah.
guys have, right?
I mean,
So,
it's already very difficult na, syempre, hindi naman legal magpakasal dito, for example, di ba? Even the rights when it comes to medical
Yeah.
attention or something like that, kahit sobrang tagal nyo na, di pa rin siya ibibigay.
True.
Kahit life partner kayo kasi hindi kayo kamag-anak or anything like that. And I feel like that's one of also like yung rights na, I mean, ako, kagaya ko, di ba? Yung mom ko nagpaso away, wala akong kapatid. Like, who else is gonna take care of me or who's gonna decide for me, you know? Syempre, yung partner ko lang. And I feel like that's also very important.
wait, so you're living alone now?
Yeah. I mean, I have housemates, which is also esports, but my girlfriend is from Germany, so...
So LDR.
LDR.
Filipina?
German.
Wow!
Pinaka-out sa Pinas, guys! Ako yun!
Isang kababayan na naman po na. Charot. Wait,
Hustle.
how about they them pronouns? Because ako admittedly, when the they them started happening, like when people started saying na, oh, my pronouns are they them, it was kind of hard for me to start understanding and basically understanding bakit they them? Di ba parang iisa ka lang? Di ba that's the usual
Yeah,
argument. And parang it's so easy to say, why can't you just respect that? Parang that's my preferred pronouns, etc. Pero what are your thoughts about they them? Were you
Right.
guys also confused?
I think for myself, since it's under the trans umbrella, yung non-binary spectrum kasi, it's easy for me to understand. Kasi parang, okay, just call them by name then. Kasi I think yun lang pinaka-misconception. But like, there are a lot of like non-binary people who also express themselves in a masculine or feminine way. Kaya minsan nakakalimutan natin yung actual pronouns nila. So yeah, it gets confusing sometimes, I have to
True.
admit.
Pag di ka sanay,
Oo.
di ba?
Lalo pag di naman nila sinabi, di ba? Na,
Totoo.
pronouns ko they, them.
May
Diba?
mga ibang tao na super parang tight pag gusto nila talaga.
Yun talaga.
Pero may mga iba naman na iintindihan din nila na it's difficult to process agad-agad or
Yeah.
maalala mo agad-agad kasi syempre pag tuloy-tuloy ka nagsasalita, 'di ba? Di mo na ma-realize.
Especially when you're in new spaces, diba? Na hindi naman kita kilala. Bakit kailangan ko kaagad malaman?
Yung iba naman,
mo?
accepting naman sila na okay lang, nagkamali ka naman,
Yeah,
di ba?
true.
But
As long as you correct yourself.
as long as you correct yourself, then okay. Then I respect it, you know?
So for you guys, of course, you guys have your preferred pronouns as well. When do you guys find offense towards people using the wrong pronouns towards you?
I think in my cases, there's always repeat offenders kasi. Especially when I'm in public settings, when I present myself, when kunyari, sobrang ganda ko, like, presenting talaga. Parang, sir, ganito, 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 sir, ganito, ganito. Tapos, like, I don't have the strength to correct them. Pero hinahayaan ko na lang sila pansinin yung ano ba yung, how do I present myself? Kasi nakakapagod minsan eh. Before when I was with my latest ex naman, parang she's always the one correcting people for me. Kasi kasi nakakapagod din. And alam mo, now my friends do that also. Pero personally, di ko magawang i-correct yung tao kasi parang nagdademand ako. Parang ang weird ng feeling. It's niya ba?
Kung siguro ka-close mo,
Oo.
then parang may right ka na, gusto ko talaga ito eh.
Oo.
Pero alam mo kagandahan sa Pilipinas, kung nagtatagalog ka,
Ma'am,
sila,
sir.
kayo, ma'am, sir! Ma'am, sir na ang tawag sa'yo agad-agad. Tapos, at the same time, pag Tagalog din naman, we don't, di ba nalilito tayo once we, ako kasi, Tagalog talaga ako una, tapos transition to English. Nalilito pa ako sa he and she eh, na may mismatch ko pa yon during the time na parang nagpa-practice ako. So, sa Tagalog, hindi ka masyado malilito kasi may sila, kayo, ikaw, ganon yung mga terms natin kahit
it's
pa paano.
mostly unisex kasi.
Tsaka ma'am, sir.
Ma'am, sir.
Ma'am, sir
Actually, that
talaga.
was my next question, the ma'am, sir.
Yun nga,
The ma'am, sir.
sobrang, yung girlfriend ko sabi niya, wow, grabe pala dito ha, accepting kayo, ma'am, sir, agad
Ma'am,
yung
sir.
tawag sa inyo, pag dumadaan kayo, ay, yeah, of
Ako
course.
monster eh. Charot.
Monster.
I feel like most, I don't know, or at least when most of my community members as well, they like the ma'am, sir idea. Have you ever met a gay person na hindi okay dun sa ma'am, sir? Kasi I'm pretty sure you
No, I
guys are
think-
okay with it as well.
I think it's universally accepted. Lalo na kasi when you enter like
As a
public
Filipino.
establishments, pero papunta ka Jollibee naman, yun naman itawag
Oo.
palagi.
Hello,
So,
ma'am, sir.
hello ma'am sir, ganun. So,
Yeah, parang it's something that
It's
started as a
normal.
joke.
Yeah.
Di ba parang naging joke siya? Parang,
Daan
hello,
kang
ma'am,
Green
sir.
Hills. Hello,
Hanggang sa
ma'am, sir,
parang,
hello
tempered
ma'am
glass
sir,
po.
di ba? O kaya idol, di ba? Parang dadaan ka dito, idol. Bebentahan ka lang pala. So, I think we have a very good use of pronouns, lalo in our language. Nakakalito lang when you
Sa
use...
English.
When you use it
when you
in
have
a
to translate it na. True. Okay, so another thing about pronouns, what if, you know how, for example, ako, I'm openly gay, I'm a mask, I like to think. I present myself as a guy still. Like, I don't,
The dress
yeah,
up
I don't
and-
dress
Yeah.
as a girl, ganyan. But, by default, I call people girl. Di ba parang ganun, girl, for
Girl.
example, di ba? Like, for
Yeah,
example,
yeah.
maybe it's different kasi you're very accepting of your femininity.
Yeah.
Pero, do you guys think it's a problem within the community or maybe outside the community? Like, how people always assume that you're, like, for example, ako, I'm gay. So, people will, hey, girl, hey, be, hi, mom, she, ganyan.
Wala akong
For you guys,
pakialam.
wala kang kasi
Wala
pakialam.
akong pakialam. Wala ka kasing pakialam.
How about for Danny?
Wala akong pakialam.
I think sa akin, when I talk to close friends, parang di na nawala yung parang bro element kasi parang tropa naman tayo eh.
But what if totally random person, Brino ka bigla?
Wala na yun.
Ay.
Minsan nasisira talaga yung araw ko because of those things. Lalo na pag inuulit-ulit pa nila.
Ay, minsan pag nakataas yung buhok ko, tapos kasi medyo malalim yung boses ko compared sa feminine
Right.
women talaga. Sir talaga tawag sa akin. Minsan gaganon yung utak ko parang, bakit naman?
Yeah.
Ganon.
Lalo pag nga rin, naka-sleeveless ako, I have guns, by the way.
Ay.
So,
As a
Flex.
gym person.
as a gym girl. So, minsan talaga, hindi na lang nawawala yung distinction. So, hinahayaan ko na lang. Pero kasi, the fact na they do it intentionally kasi minsan kasi out of reflex na lang yung iba. Like, when you talk to security guards, talk to, service people. Pero, when it's someone na you want to know, tapos talagang in-emphasize nila yung, oy bro, ganito. Or sir, ganon. So parang annoying siya.
Pero yun yung annoying siya kapag it's the total opposite of you.
Pag sinasadya.
Like for example, ako
Yeah.
pag binabae ako, pero I'm gay, di ba? How about pag binakla ka?
Paano
Kunwari ako,
binakla?
tinawag akong, huy, bading.
Oy, bakla.
Ganon. Yung
Oy,
for me
bading.
kasi, pag ganon, okay kung friends.
Kung
Okay,
friends.
okay.
Pag hindi talaga.
Isa
But
thumbs up.
a lot of people from the community are saying na that's internalized homophobia daw. Kapag ayaw mong tinatawag kang bading, when, for example, ang tumawag sa akin bading, huy, bading, bading din naman. So parang kinukumari niya ako. Apparently, internalized homophobia daw yun.
talaga?
For you guys, do you guys think that's internalized homophobia?
That's actually the first time I've heard of
I'm
it.
learning so much
Yeah,
new
I'm learning
stuff.
so much.
Ito yung mga issue ng mga bading.
No, kasi
Hindi ko lang
minsan
nalaman
kasi,
ngayon, sex hub
I mean, it's a case-to-case basis naman kasi talaga, di ba? Like, di mo naman pwede i-umbrella na talaga lahat internalized homophobia. Because like, iba naman, like, homophobia is, like, iba-iba rin talaga yung treatment on how homophobia is supposed to be presented, di ba? But, yeah, for me, it's so new. This is so new for me.
So, for reference, parang people are saying kasi, bakit ka nahihiyang tawagin kang bakla? Eh, wala namang mali sa pagiging bakla. Yun yung argument. Na parang, why are you scared of people calling you gay when you're actually gay? Why not just own it? Parang ganon. So, it's internalized homophobia kasi, bakit may negative connotation dun sa term na gay? Diba? Parang ganon. So, for me, I share the same. Even though I've known this for the longest time, I've, like, on Twitter, for example, people will always say this on Twitter na parang, walang mali doon. Ganyan, dapat own it. Pero ako, even like, for example, I'm streaming, and it happens a lot, na parang babaklain ako, girl, I don't know you.
No, yun nga eh.
Parang, why don't you just call me Blair?
I think that's the line. If you don't know the person, then wag nyo nang subukan.
Yeah,
Alam mo
diba?
yun? Just call them by their name, respect muna, and then once you get close, I feel like yun naman din sa gay scene in general, di ba? Na
Yeah.
parang, you feel much more comfortable once you know already the person compared naman sa online ka lang, nagsistream ka,
Yeah,
tapos
like a regular person.
comment ka
diba?
ng kung ano-ano.
Like a
Weird.
straight person.
Yeah,
It's
weird.
weird.
Exactly,
Oo.
weird. Pero how about when you are the one to be asked what your preferred pronouns are, how do you identify yourself? What's the most comfortable way for you to receive that question?
The same way as you asked it already. Parang, how do you call yourself? Like, what are your pronouns? And then, usually naman din, she, her, sinasabi ko na lang din agad-agad. So, ganun lang.
Same.
Yeah, same. Actually, you actually ask it in a very good way then. Parang how do you want to be, how do you want us to address you? Diba? So, minsan ako like Danny or Danny girl, ganon. Para alam na nila na girl nga talaga.
Na Danny girl.
Funny girl.
Na Danny girl.
Danny girl,
Gets.
ganun.
So, in terms of other issues within the community, are there other parang, ano yung ginamit ko siyang term kanina, microaggressions that you guys are very familiar with or maybe you've heard from in the internet, etc., that you think is something that we need to discuss? So, yung akin kasi, number one would be, yun yung binanggit ko kanina na internalized homophobia kapag ayaw mo tinatawag kang bading. Another one has something to do with the females, the girls. I remember, you know how, for example, oy, kakain ka doon ng pepe. Kunwari, sinabi sa akin, hoy, Blair, kakain kang pepe. Sabi ko, ew! That's the usual reaction. Parang, kajiri, parang
Sa bagay,
gano'n.
pag sinabihan din naman ako
Game.
ng tarup. Hello?
And parang, I'm doing it as a joke, but at the
Yeah.
same time, that's really how I feel. Parang, hindi
Yeah,
talaga
yeah,
ako kakain ng pepe. Diba? Pero apparently, that's hurtful towards the females daw. What are your stand on this?
Ako kasi, hili ko talaga yun.
And then siguro, other way around.
Other way around. I don't know how to answer this because I don't...
I guess
Without
mas-
the bias.
I guess,
Without the
I guess
bias.
mas mabigat siya dun sa bading towards the girls kasi females by default are also not. They're also marginalized, right?
Yes,
You know, they're not males, for example. So yung sa'yo siguro parang, hindi sila masyadong gina.
I feel like mas problema lang siya kapag ginawa mo siya kunwari ako, tas sa straight girl, parang you're gonna make someone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Paano?
Parang in-objectify mo rin kasi yung tao, diba?
in-objectify mo na in some sort of way. Parang feeling ko sa ganun lang. But other than that, okay lang.
Yeah, kasi for me, it's just a joke eh.
It's
Parang,
just a joke. Basta galing sa ka-close mo, wag yung weirdo
ayaw ko naman
online.
talaga. Bakit ba ako
Yeah.
papakainin ng
I mean,
pepe, diba?
like, just
Straight
read,
to the point.
just read the room, diba? Like, learn social cues about
Yeah,
it.
actually. And I think the gays are very good with social cues. I don't know, parang growing up kasi I've always been sensitive with
We're sensitive
how I
much
present myself, how
And-
I talk to people.
I feel like kapag yung may friends, kunwari, straight ako, tapos yung friend ko, kunwari si Danny, nakita ko yung transition niya, they're much more understanding
Yeah.
din kasi.
Yeah.
They know what
They know-
we are, kung ano pinagdadaanan natin in short. So, mas nagiging understanding sila and mas comfortable yung ganun. Pero kung iba na hindi mo pa kilala, easy lang kayo.
Yeah.
Ganun. With the jokes even.
Tsaka yung pag-a-assume din kasi parang, pwede bang wag?
Oo,
Kaya mo
totoo.
naman kami magkwento.
Oo.
And connecting to the story kanina, parang ang dami kasi nag-assume kung ano ba yung nangyayari sa akin. Kaya nakakainis. So parang nawala yung power ko in terms of
To say
coming
what's
out.
happening.
What are some lines na talagang parang nung nadinig mo yun parang, ay, ano ba to? Nakingialam.
Ay, gusto ko magmura ng ano. So parang inis na inis talaga ako noon. Kasi ang sabi parang, ano ba to si Danny? Parang gender fluid ba tong tao na to? Ganun. May ano bang pinagdadaanan na to? Bakit ang haba ng buhok mo bigla? Ganun. So parang, pwede bang wait? Kasi di ko pa nabubuo yung
ko pa
PR
napaprocess
statement
din yan.
ko. May ginagawa pa ako.
Yung email niya hindi pa tapos, guys.
May PR statement pa ako susulat, di ba? Yung mga, kaya so I hate it when people assume things about my sexuality, my gender, ganun. Tapos nung nalaman nila na trans nga ako, like they automatically assume na I wanna be with men. So parang, wait lang guys, tangina naman.
Actually, I remember reading about you. Kasi parang
no.
I was trying to look
Oh,
for
no.
people in the community when I was just starting out in the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So parang I read about you, tapos nabasa ko. Kaya tinanong ko din kanina na how do you parang na your transition tapos lesbian. Diba? Parang it's very confusing to me. And I'm pretty sure it's more confusing to the straighties.
Yeah.
Kasi parang if it's confusing a gay guy, what more for them, diba?
For sure.
So, what are the other questions na, before we go on a short break, what are the other questions na maling-mali? Like, for example, ako, like, I have a boyfriend now for 5 years. And, well, they don't ask it to me now, but before, when I was dating guys, they would ask, who's the girl? Diba?
Yeah.
Parang
Yan
that's one
talaga yung
question na
pinaka
people
sa
don't
akin
really like,
din.
diba?
Yeah.
Like always.
Pero wala pong girl.
Sino?
Pareho po
Wala
kami
nga.
tintarug.
Kulit-
Kaya
kulit
nga,
nyo.
that's the point, di ba?
That's the point. Tapos iniisip din nila, ay, actually, ito yung isa sa pinaka nakakainis. Pag, kunwari, I'm going clubbing outside, ganyan. May kakausap sa'yong straight or in short, lalaki, may lalapit sa'yo, parang, sorry, I'm with someone, like, I have a girlfriend or I'm gay. It's like, ay, sayang ka naman, ganda mo pa naman.
Oh my God.
Ay, sorry. Cut
Blur nyo na lang yan. Blur.
The
Blur nyo na lang, blur nyo.
The sayang, it's true.
It's like, hello? Like, who cares? Sayang,
Exactly.
sayang talaga kasi hindi ikaw. Bahala ka sa buhay mo.
Sabihin din ako niyan, grabe. Yung sayang naman yung pogi mo.
It's the most annoying thing,
Oh my
honestly. Like,
Sayang for who?
yeah.
I mean, 'di ba? Like, sayang yung pogi mo. Kaya gumanda eh.
I guess for gay guys, yung sayang is sayang hindi ka magkakaanak. Parang gano'n. How about
oo.
for...
Totoo, yan din.
Ay,
Sayang
sabagay,
di ka
nagkakaanak din
magkakanak.
pala yung girls.
Pwede
Parang-
naman,
parang hindi.
di ba? Parang,
There's a lot of ways now.
There's a lot of ways, pero syempre, di ba, you have to also think na siguro wala lang talaga silang clue. Minsan pag gano'n na yung mga questions sa akin, siguro walang alam
Out of
talaga to,
ignorance
di
na
ba?
lang din.
I-explain ko siya na maayos. So at least, na-educate mo na rin siya at
Yeah.
the same time. Instead of really getting it as an aggression type na parang, you know what? I'll let you know. Ganun na lang.
Was there ever a specific instance na you had to school someone?
Oh, they ask me questions.
Umabot ba doon sa level na yun na parang, ay, I
Nagalit
need
ka,
to
tas kailangan mo
educationalize
talaga.
you?
Not necessarily. I try to do it like slowly but surely. Kasi ayaw mo rin naman siya magkaroon ng bad connotation into like gay people in general dahil may isang bading na, kasi
No,
ganito,
oo.
ganyan.
Nag-preach bigla.
Slowly but surely lang din. Kasi hindi naman lahat naiintindihan din agad.
Dan?
Yeah, I think there's this one incident. Ang dami kong kwento, no?
Go
Kasi,
lang.
yan nga. There's this, I had a friend who used to be a friend na was sharing like transphobic remarks towards Jake Cyrus to. So he's a trans man, diba? And 2 years ago, he posted updates about his like top surgery nga. And sobrang galing, sobrang nakakatuwa. Tapos biglang may pinost to na pumitik talaga ako kasi una sa lahat, nakahide sa akin yung post na yun. Para hindi ko makita. And then, yun, kumalat, nag-viral siya kasi tanga siya. Pero basically, what he was trying to say is parang, next time pag nagpa-opera siya ng edits, ganun, ikakwento rin niya sa social media, ganun. So parang, wait lang, di naman ganyan yung ano. Hayaan mo sila mag-transition. So, in-explain ko naman sa akin in chat, properly. Ayos, kasi una sa nakahide sa akin eh. So parang, uy,
Alam mo na
di ka
agad.
naman kasali dyan eh. Ganun. So, sabi, tangin na mo, ulul. Parang parang hindi naman yun yung point. Wala naman ako pa kung nakita ko yun o hindi. Pero, wag mong isipin yung ganitong connotation with trans people. Kasi nga, una sa lahat, kaibigan mo ako. So, alam mo na pinagdadaanan ko din to.
True.
So, the fact na hinide mo nga, ibig sabihin, you're also against or you're also disrespectful towards
Yeah.
myself. So,
That what hurts more kapag alam mo pang kaibigan
galing
mo.
sa kaibigan.
Parang, alam mo yun.
So you've lost friends because of who you are.
I did, yeah.
Was it you who broke the bond
I did.
or was it them?
I did.
Not necessarily. I think I have a very small circle of friends that I really trust. So, a lot of acquaintances and sabi ko nga, diba, wala akong masyadong pake. If you're not willing to give me the same energy back, parang, I don't really
Wag na lang.
mind, you know. I have people in my life that actually care. So, okay lang.
I see. Well, I guess that's where we take a break for
Oo,
now.
kasi mamaya mainit na eh.
Yes, we'll be talking about more spicy topics later. But for now, we're gonna go on a coffee break.
May ex ako na nag-start sa akin mag-message from IG, for example. May nag-start na, kunwari, parang fan. Meron din naman na parang...
Dinate mo yung fan? I've been seeing TikToks na parang running clubs are the new
It's
Bumble
the new
daw.
thing.
Yeah, yung Bumble ko and yung Strava ko, ganun.
Wait, sarap.
Sabi ko, hindi ako nagbo-Bumble Tinder, pero sa Omegle ko nakilala
diba?
yung jowa ko.
Guys, Omegle works.
Hindi pa galing.
Omegle works.
German pa.
German
naman eh,
German
eh.
pa.